If you're new to the channel and you like what you see, well, welcome to Life for Gaz. Now, I try my best to upload a new video every single Wednesday, and if you want to keep up to date with that, make sure you hit the subscribe button, and more importantly, ring the bell to get all the notifications. Okay guys, welcome to Life for Gaz, and today I'm fishing down here at Stargate. Now, Stuart's with me, he's just at the beach there behind me, and we're out here in the hunt for bass. So let's start talking tactics, and tactics today were actually fairly difficult, and the reason for this is because at this venue and with the state of the sea today, it meant we just couldn't get past the surf. Now the reason for this is it's very shallow for a long way out, but there's the odd gully in amongst the banks, which meant obviously that we couldn't get beyond the surf lines, and the trick was really to just try and cast in between the two banks and try and find a gully. Now this can sort of hold fish, but as the day went on and the wind didn't drop, the catching of fish started to look more and more unlikely. But what we did, we stuck with it, and we did pull some fish out in the end. But what you'll see here is the fact that as we're setting up here is I'm using one rod with a clip down, and that rod with the clip down is really just to try and maximize the distance, and the other rod was fishing a free hook flapper rig, and that was just trying to be a little bit more accurate and find some of the deeper depressions in the gullies. And a tactic I'd like to have used to actually help me find those deeper depressions was to be using obviously an anchorless weight. So it would roll around out there and find a spot where it'd settle, and that'd hopefully be where the fish were searching as well. Unfortunately though, due to the conditions, even the weights with anchors on were shifting around and being pulled about. So obviously an anchorless weight would have been no good in this venue. Now obviously, from picking this rod up and bringing it in, I knew there was something there. Not only could I feel a little bit of weight and the odd little knock from now and again, but also I also seen the bite as well. Now when I was bringing this in, unfortunately the sea was quite a way away from me. Now although there's water out in front of me, that was only a few inches deep as the tide was still flooding in. So when I seen these two little flatfish, which both happened to be flounder, start flapping around on the sandbank as I'm bringing them over it, I decided to walk down to them, as there are no birds like seagulls about to try and eat these guys. Now one of them was hooked in the lip, which made it really easy to just unhook him and release, and the other one was much deeper hooked, so I had to unclip the rig and take it down through his gills before I could let this fish swim back off. Now when I let the second fish swim back off, I did just put him down in the shallows, and the reason for that was we were still over an hour away from high tide, and that water was only going to get deeper, and it did. The rest of the flood was fairly uneventful. In fact, I didn't pick up a single other bite until after high tide. Now, as you can see, the beach had started to fill up with water nicely, and it was around about 18 inches deep through there with all that surf. The trouble was, the surf went out pretty much as far as we could see, and casting over the top of it was just an impossibility. Even if I could get a weight out there, I didn't have enough line on my reel to be able to track back that far, as I've only got around about sort of 270 yards on there at the moment. But nonetheless, I did keep going past high tide and down into the ebb, and in the ebb I managed to pick up another fish. with the sun setting, and of course I'm on my last cast and my last retrieve, I managed to pull in the final fish of the day, which was also the biggest, not a monster by any stretch of the imagination. It was a 10-ounce flounder. So flounder, they ruled the day today. Now, like always, I'm always happy to be out, and I'm even happier if I'm catching fish. I'm generally not too bothered about what I catch as long as I can get a bend in a rod somehow. And this is just the love of fishing which I have, and this is why I enjoy going out. So, picking up fish almost anywhere is always a bonus in my books. Now, unfortunately, like I said, this was the last cast and it was just time to pack up and go home, but that tide was starting to run out faster than we could keep up with it, so it was a wise time to go. Well guys, unfortunately there was no bass today, but we beat the blank with 3 of those flounder. Now if you've liked this episode, make sure you hit the subscribe button down here. Check out my last fishing video over here.